We move on in our NCAA football win series. We are in the Mountain West. We just did Air Force, and we're now moving on to Boise State. And Boise State's the epitome of consistency in that group of five. So since Dirk Cotter took over in 1998, Dirk Cotter, who's now the offensive coordinator, he was the head coach for 3 years, 1998, 99, 2000. They have been just phenomenal. Cotter's first year, they went 6-5, then 10-3, 10-2. Dan Hawkins comes over. They go to the Western Athletic Conference. In there, they have a 12-win season, a 13-win season, an 11-win season, a 9-win season. Chris Peterson pops in. They have that 2006 season where they win the Fiesta Bowl and go undefeated. Chris Peterson won 13-10, 12-14, 12-11, and then 8. Those were his seasons. His last season, only 8 wins, and then he moved on. Brian Harsin comes in. His worst year is 5-2, which is the COVID year. Other than that, it's 9-4. They win 12, 10, 11, 10, 12. And Andy Avalos had the worst season for Boise State back in 2021, the worst year since 1998. He went 7-5, and they were supposed to play in the Arizona Bowl. That got canceled. The next year, he goes 10-4, wins the Frisco Bowl, and then last year, he's the head coach. He's the head coach for 10 games, and then they fire him. So it was up and down. Boise 2023 was up and down. They lost their first 2 games of the season to Washington and UCF, won the next 2 against North Dakota State and San Diego State, then lost to Memphis, win to San Jose, lost to Colorado State, win to Wyoming, lost to Fresno State, they beat New Mexico. Andy Avalos is fired. In comes Spencer Danielson. Danielson beats Air Force. He beats Utah State. Utah State came first, then Air Force. And then he wins at UNLV to win the conference. They go to the LA Bowl. They lost to UCLA. He goes 3-1 and has the head job full time. They were 8-6 last year. It is the first time since the 1997-98. So 97-98, that they went back-to-back years without winning 10 games. This team just consistently wins. So, I mean, that's if you don't include the COVID season. COVID 2020, they went 5-2, then 7-5 under Avalos the next year. This is a great program. This year, they're the favorite to win the Mountain West, and they should be very good. They bring in Malachi Nelson from USC. He's going to be their quarterback. He is fighting Maddox Madsen for the job, but it looks like it's going to be Malachi Nelson. They have Ashton Gentry in the backfield. He was 7th in the nation in rushing yards per game. He led the nation in yards from scrimmage per game. He scored 19 times. The offensive line brings back 4 starters, including Cage Casey, who was a freshman All-American, didn't surrender a sack all year. At wide receiver, Chris Marshall comes in. He's been at Texas A&M and Ole Miss. He has off-the-field troubles. If he can stay out of trouble at Boise State, that's a huge weapon there. On defense, they bring back the edge, Ahmad Hassan. He had 12.5 sacks. He should be up for a first-team All-Mountain West job. Jaden Virgin Morgan, another great defensive end. I like him. They have a good linebacking core starting with Andrew Simpson. They have a good secondary. 3 of the 5 starters are back from last year. They bring in a transfer in Jeremiah Irby, who started at Cal in 2023. This team is pretty loaded and can definitely make a run. They open August 31st at Georgia State. I think they're going to win there. September 7th is probably going to be a loss. They are at Oregon before a bye. Then they get Portland State right after. I think they jump to 2-1. September 28th, they're at home against Washington State. They get both Washington State and Oregon State at home with the Mountain West Pac-2 conference combination situation. I think they could get one of the two. That's a maybe. If they lose both, we're kind of in trouble, but I think they do get one of the two. Utah State comes up October 5th. That's a win. At Hawaii, October 12th. I think that's a win. October 26th at UNLV. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the loss category. I think UNLV is the biggest threat to Boise State to win the conference. But then November 2nd, San Diego State, they get that at home. That's a win. Nevada, they'll destroy. They're at San Jose State. They'll win. November 23rd is a little interesting at Wyoming. I put this in the toss-up category. I think they win it, but that's a tough game. And then Oregon State on November 30th. I really do think they get one of two of Washington State, Oregon State. They might get both. I definitely put Oregon in the loss category. And then the question is, at UNLV and at Wyoming, can they win one of those? I have this as a 9 to 10 win team if you look at it. Yeah, I definitely think they're losing to Oregon. They're beating Portland State. They're beating Utah State. They're beating Hawaii. They're beating San Diego State, Nevada, and San Jose State. There's a couple toss-ups in there where I would lean to Boise State. I look at this as a 9-win team. The problem is the over-under set into 9.5. The under is slightly favored. Could they win 10? Absolutely. Could they win only 9? Also a possibility. So for the safe part on this, Caesars has the win total set at 9 with the over at minus 120. That's where we're going to go on this pick. We're going to take the Boise State Broncos over 9 wins, take the push insurance on 9, minus 120. If you like this content, make sure to like it, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'll be back next time for some more Mountain West win totals.